It is equally important to take pride in one's accomplishments, especially when they are lauded and applauded by others. That the very first edition of the magazine is being released. At the hands of so eminent a personality is a matter of great pride for the college. I therefore am quite enthused to be asked to introduce the chief guest of the program, Professor Harilal Bhaskar Menon, Senior Professor and Dean, School of Earth, Ocean, Atmospheric Science, has taken over as the 9th Vice Chancellor of Goa University on 3rd September 2021. Born on 31st July 1962, Professor Menon has over 33 years of teaching and research experience at Goa University. His area of specialization are optical remote sensing of coastal and estuarine waters and aerosol science. He was awarded CSIR Fellowship in the year 1984, received his MSc from Cochin University of Science and Technology, obtained his PhD from Cochin University in the domain of physical oceanography. He then went on to do his postdoctoral work under DAAD Fellowship at the prestigious Max Planck Institute of Meteorology and Institute of Oceanography, Germany. He has travelled widely and has delivered numerous technical lectures for various audiences at international scientific fora in a number of countries, including Japan, Singapore, Australia, Taiwan, USA, Germany, and the UK. He has also organized a number of scientific sessions and has chaired sessions on ocean color and aerosol and climate in international conferences. His work has always been with the concept of lab to land. In this regard, he has initiated research on application of remote sensing to grassroots level of humanity. As his first project, he developed a radiative transfer model, GUTRA, Goa University Radiative Transfer Model, a first of its kind in India, and presented it to the ISRO. Subsequently, the ISRO awarded the R&D project under the prestigious national project of IRS-P4 OCM with the task of chlorophyll generation from OCM sensor. Professor Menon has also developed a site-specific algorithm and therefore an algorithm to retrieve chlorophyll irrespective of turbidity levels of coastal waters of world oceans. This was named as Goa University Case 2 Water Algorithm, for which he received wide acclaim from the international scientific community and this became a baseline data for any country developing future optical sensors for chlorophyll generation. The study also earned Professor Menon a position as a member of the peer group of National Committee of ISRO to identify band characteristics for the forthcoming ocean color sensor. He further concentrated on deriving methods to apply optical remote sensing for naval applications. His work on coastal water remote sensing and aerosol resulted in many scientific outputs on coastal water optics, aerosol, and global climate, fields in which he has made fundamental scientific contributions. To carry out all the above studies, Professor Menon was successful in receiving R&D projects from various funding agencies with ISRO, MOES, and NRP. The external cash flow to Goa University was to the tune of 6 crores. He has played a pivotal role in conceptualizing and implementing national projects such as RFE, Global, and SATCO. In university, research and teaching must go in parallel. He's made it to introduce courses on remote sensing and its applications in aerosol and climate, and he offered these courses across various disciplines of Goa University. Since hands-on experiments is an inseparable component of a science course, a well-equipped state-of-the-art remote sensing lab and an aerosol observatory were also established with the external cash flow. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our Vice Chancellor, Professor Harilal Menon.
Guest of honor of today's program, Professor Kiran Budkule, former Dean of Faculty of Language and Literature. Dr. Budkule has spent her career teaching English literature to students across the spectrum and investing her efforts towards preservation of Konkani language through her collaboration with World Konkani Center. She retired from Goa University as Head of Department English, Dean of Faculty of Language and Literature. She is the authoress of 16 books in the field of literary criticism and creative writing, which includes Goa Matters in Lore and Letters, Writings of Land Loss and Logging, Kathadarpan, Demon, I Am Man Ashwatthama, among others. She has often been called as a resource person for workshops and seminars on Goan literature and has been the recipient of the following awards. Late Shri Gundu Sitaram Amonkar Triennial Award for contribution to literary criticism in Kokani. Kokani Bhasha Mandal's Sarvottam Granth Puraskar in 2010 and Goa Kokani Academy's Best Book in the category award in 2010.
With that brief introduction of our guests, we move ahead with the function and request the chairperson of Sarvottam Education Society, Sri Sanjay Vahavalkar, to deliver the welcome address.
Suprabhat to everybody. We are having among us highest rank official of the university, that is Vice Chancellor Professor Harilal Menon, Dr. Kiran Budkule, Bhushan Bhave and other dignitaries. It is a historical moment in our institution because it is for the first time a Vice Chancellor is visiting our institution and there is an element of God in his name, Professor Harilal Menon. Sir, our institution was founded in 1987. Almost 35 years ago, and our college, that is degree college, started in 2012, 10 years ago. And at the moment, we are having 8 institutions under our management. More than 3,300 students are learning here, from KG to graduation. And we have more than 300 faculty members in our institution. And this is for the first time in 35 years that a Vice Chancellor, none other than Professor Harilal Menon, who is known to Goa. He has been in Goa for the last 35, 40 years. He knows Goan culture. He knows education in Goa. He knows habits of Goans. But he himself, his day starts at 4:30 a.m. in the morning and he works till late in the night. He is known workaholic. That is, nowadays workaholic, Goans are forgetting the concept of workaholic. He is young, dynamic. He has got a right post at the right time. There are a lot of challenges before him in the university. Any university, the face of any university is the Vice Chancellor. When a discussion or any university is referred, the first question asked by anybody is, who is the Vice Chancellor of the university? Nobody knows the Chancellor of the university. Nobody knows if there is at all a Chancellor for any university. What is known is Vice Chancellor. So important is that post. Chancellor is always the governor, I think. He is the Chancellor of any university. But Vice Chancellor is the face of any university. And the youngest university in our country, one of the youngest, is our Goa University. And we have a young Vice Chancellor among us. I welcome you on behalf of all the staff, all the students, and dignitaries among us. Especially Professor Datta Naik is among us, who is the founder member of this institution, now retired but not tired. Professor Ratnakar Lele is among us, who is a member of faculty, University Faculty Committee. And we are working with a vision, sir. We want this institution, we want this college to be the best in the state. And it doesn't happen merely by giving speeches. We have to implant a work culture like Vice Chancellor, who are ready to work outside the working hours, who are ready to cross the limit positively, who are ready to sacrifice their routine lifestyle for the betterment of the institution. And as a management, we are also working towards making this institution the best in the state, pride of Goa University. And for that we required cooperation, help, guidance from a lot of sections of the society. The most important among that is the Vice Chancellor, Professor Harilal Menon. We look upon you for guidance, for cooperation in making our institution fit for NEP, new education policy, well known in the state of Goa and outside the state also. We'll be working very hard. Our vision, our management vision is already in that direction. We are having a new primary building very soon. After that, space constraint for college will be over. We are having also a dynamic principal, Professor Bhushan Bhavin, and dynamic member of staff. Also we have multifaceted staff we have got. So we look upon cooperation, guidance from University, Goa University. And indeed it is a very proud moment for us that Vice Chancellor is coming to our institution. It is no less important post than its Chief Minister of a state. It is as important as Chief CM is represented in the state. And we hope that we will be fulfilling your expectations in the coming years, in the coming NEP. I will be working very hard. Thank you very much for visiting our institution, sir. Thanks, Dr. Kiran Budkule also. This is the occasion we have been waiting for last almost 1 year. Because of pandemic, once or twice the function was postponed. At last, today we are having that function. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for the very warm welcome. I now invite the principal of our college, Professor Bhushan Bhavin, to set the agenda for the program.
Good morning, all of you. Honorable Vice Chancellor of the Goa University, Professor Harilal Menon, President of Prabodhan Education Society, Shri Sanjay Bab Valalkar, members of the Prabodhan Education Society sitting in the auditorium, Professor Datta Bikaji Naik, former Executive Council member of Goa University, Shri Rajkumar Desai, our management member and former chairman of the Goa State Cooperative Bank, Shri Ratnakar Lele, Principal Ratnakar Lele, who is the present member of the Executive Council of Goa University and a well-wisher of this institution, Dr. Anil Thosre, our Vice Principal, Shri Damodar Mardolkar, Principal of our Higher Secondary School, Shri Malsakan Deshpande, Headmaster of our High School, Dr. Sangeeta Desai, the Chief Editor of Sarvottam, our annual Miscellany, Shri Vasant Narulkar, President of our Alumni Association, Shri Swapnil Bugde, President of our PTA, the guest of honor of the today's function, my guide and philosopher, Professor Kiran Budkule, former Dean of the Arts Faculty of Goa University, parents, reporters, journalists, representative of the media, and my dear students and staff. In fact, I am very happy today. The function which was supposed to be held a month ago is being held today. In fact, the function of this magnitude, of this volume, is being held after a gap of 2.5 years, I suppose. That's why our entire machinery has to gear up, has to prepare itself, including the public address system, to tackle such situations. On behalf of Vidya Prabodhini College of Commerce, Education, Computer and Management, Purvari, I welcome you to this program after a long gap created by the bad patch of pandemics. Our special welcome to our Vice Chancellor, Professor Harilal Menon. Sir, we are proud that we have a Vice Chancellor who has served the university for more than 3 decades. We are proud that a person like you, who is aware of the classroom situation in the state, is the Vice Chancellor of our university. A person like you, who is a teacher first and then an administrator, has become the Vice Chancellor of Goa University. A person like you, who has brought laurels to the Goa University by way of your intellectual and academic contributions, sir, not only in terms of recognition at the national and the international level, especially through remote sensing area, but also by fetching revenue to the tune of crores of rupees to this tiny university, Goa University. Sir, the teaching fraternity of Goa, as well as the students of Goa and our college, will extend their full support and cooperation to you in all your endeavors to take this university to new heights. I request all my dear students and my colleagues to rise up and to give standing ovation to our Vice Chancellor, Professor Harilal Menon. Thank you, sir, for coming for this function. Sir, Vidya Prabodhini College of Commerce and Commerce, Economics, Management and Education, as our chairman has just now stated, although this society, Prabodhan Education Society, has completed 35 years of its foundation, Vidya Prabodhini College section is completing 10 years of its foundation. We were established, our first batch started in June 2012, and in the coming June we are completing 10 years of our service to the field of education. We have a very dedicated, hardworking and talented teaching staff. They strive not only for the academic excellence of the students, but also for their overall personality development. The college in the last 10 years has completed many add-on courses, certificate courses in our college. Our teachers are invited in imparting training to the students in almost all the competitive examinations under the guidance of our management. Personally, presently, 11 of our faculty are PhD holders. And I am very proud to say, sir, by the end of this academic year, another 5-6 teachers are going to join as PhDs. Sir, I am proud to state that recently the college was audited by the auditors team of Directorate of Higher Education. In fact, this was the first audit after the foundation of the college. And I am very proud to say that, leaving aside 5-6 technical errors here and there, the entire audit team of Directorate of Higher Education has appreciated the maintenance of the accounts, the maintenance of the records by our administrative and academic staff. Let us give a big applause to our teaching as well as the non-teaching staff for their best performance in the last 10 years. In fact, our college, our management also is very active. You must be seeing now a very big hall is coming on the 4th floor with a capacity of 750 students to accommodate, and it will be completed before the monsoon season. So as a part of CSR, we have been helped by many institutions. GERA has sponsored a rainwater harvesting project for our college. We have another institution, Purvankara, a real estate company, who has sponsored a solar project for our college, and many other institutions are coming in with their CSRs to help the development of the infrastructure in our college. So, we look forward for your guidance today, especially when we all are preparing for the second cycle of the accreditation by NEC in 2023, as well as when all of us we are gearing for the successful implementation and meaningful implementation of the National Education Policy 2020. Today we have also with us Professor Kiran Budkule. Personally, I know Kiran right from 1987, the year which I joined my earlier college, PES College, in the Department of Konkani. Madam, we are thankful to you for your generous help by way of donating hundreds of books from your personal library, madam. And we also solicit your help in the academic development of our faculty as well as the students. We acknowledge the kind gesture and thank you sincerely for the same. I would also like to put on record my sincere thanks to Sri Sanjay Balalkar and all the office bearers and members of our management, our well-wishers, our donors, our parents, our alumni, the citizens of Purvarim, elected representatives who are present here, Panch, Sarpanch, etc. of the nearby vicinity, for their wholehearted support in the progress of our college. Today, I also thank all the representatives of media, both print and electronic, for their presence and for giving wide publicity to not only this event, but all the activities that we conduct. Let me thank all the members of the editorial board, led by Dr. Sangeeta Desai, of this annual miscellany of our college, Sarvottam. I think this is the first printed version of that Sarvottam which is being released today. I thank all the editorial members for their efforts to compile this magazine and publish in a book form. I thank all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. In fact, the arrival of our principal has breathed new life into the college, and the momentum that was there has actually gone several paces ahead. So in a way, we should also thank you, sir, for getting all your faculty members and your students charged up for all the activities that we see happening these days. Moving on, working towards the publishing of the very first edition of Sarvottam must have been a very moving experience for Dr. Sangeeta Desai and her team. I am sure she would have some views on the whole process of how she went about it and what challenges she faced and how she and her team overcame them. I request her to take the days and share her views with us.
Honorable Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Harilal Menon, welcome to our college and thank you for gracing this occasion with your presence. A warm welcome to the respected members. Afternoon in September 2021, the committee brainstormed with the principal to discuss the roadmap for the magazine, and finally the idea of publishing the magazine for 2020-21 was floated to the committee. Of course, there was a certain amount, especially pertinent in the wake of the ongoing crisis in Ukraine. The extracurricular activities tuned towards this goal should be of prime importance. The activities reported in the magazine thus unfolds efforts of the college to not only make students industry ready, but also ready for life. It is with this sentiment that I acknowledge the contribution of each department, committee and cell for bringing Sarvottam to life. I would like to thank the management and the principal of the college for reposing faith in us to accomplish this task. Thank you, sir. I would also like to make a special mention of the engaged involvement of the principal for providing encouragement to us, for making valuable suggestions during the creation of the magazine. A big thank you to my fellow committee members for their inputs, hard work and diligence, and of course to the students who are the essence of this magazine. As the magazine will be released in a few moments from now, each one of us at this college should be filled with a sense of pride on this onward journey towards Sarvottam. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sangeeta. I'm sure you enjoyed every moment of this birthing process. With this, we proceed towards the central part of the program, the release of our college magazine, Sarvottam, which forms a key document recording the various achievements, activities and events attended and organized by students and faculty of the college. I request the dignitaries on the dais to unveil the college magazine.
ब्राइटनेस थोड़े कर
Thank you, everyone. Today is also a serendipitous moment as we also have Dr. Kiran Budkule donating around 230 books from her collection and a cover to the college library. I request ma'am to symbolically hand over a few books from the collection to our librarian, Mr. Nitesh Naik. Thank you, ma'am. I request ma'am to address the gathering.
आदरणीय मुखेल सोयरे, गोवा विश्वविद्यालयाचे वाइस चांसलर प्रोफेसर हरिलाल बी मेनन, श्री संजय बाब वालावलकर, महाविद्यालयाचे प्राचार्य डॉक्टर भूषण भावे, आत्ता विमोचित झाल्या त्या मॅगझिनच्यो अध्यक्षा, त्या समितीच्यो अध्यक्षा आणि एडिटोरियल बोर्डाचे मुखेली डॉक्टर संगीता देसाय, माचे वेले हेर मानेस, म्हजे मुखार आशिल्ले समाजांतले आनी विद्या विश्वांतले नामनेचे सगळे जे शिरोमणी बशिल्ले आसात तांकां हांगा हजर आशिल्ल्या विद्यार्थ्यांक आनी पालकांक मनासावन नमस्कार. 4 उतरां हांगा उलयतलें अशी अपेक्षा नाशिल्ली, कारण हांवें कांय व्हडलें केल्लें ना. एकूच गजाल, ह्या संस्थे बद्दल एक आत्मीयता सदांच आसा, कारण संस्था समाजा खातीर वावुरपाचें ध्येय दवरता. ती फक्त विद्यार्थ्यांची मनां इल्युमिनेट करचे परस ती इग्नायट जावची आनी तांचे सावन समाज परजळीत जावचो. Instead of illuminating the minds of the youth, the students, they believe in igniting them so that the society is illuminated with positive values. And I think the main objective and aim of this institution is to build teachers of tomorrow. I'm talking of the function that we are holding. And teachers always remain very close to my heart. I have been extremely fortunate to have very good, very dedicated, extremely selfless teachers all my life. And I think, I trust and I believe that a good teacher can make a lot of difference to the society, to our nation and to the world at large. And I felt that I didn't have much to offer, very few things, but I felt that teachers of tomorrow need a multi-dimensional kind of reference material. So I felt that some encyclopedias and a few books here and there. I'm extremely, in fact, sorry that I don't have books that are specifically maybe targeted for the students, but I thought I will share what I like and what I can. And the librarian of the institution kindly visited and chose some. In fact, I must share with Dr. Bhushan Bhave that most of my books are about English literature and literature in general, and they might have been a little surplus here, so I kept them back. And the day Vidya Prabodhini decides to launch a department of English for teaching and guiding research ahead, I'm sure this institution will be the first with whom I share them. I must say that the books are old, some of them are in dilapidated condition, but they are extremely valuable and I don't like to part with them. They are like my old parents and grandparents. But the institution has very promising young teachers, some of whom I have seen very closely. Some of them have studied with me also. And I believe that they will do greater service to this institution. Actually, today is our collective occasion to welcome and congratulate the present Vice Chancellor of Goa University, Professor Harilal B. Menon. And I should not be taking too much of your time. I was very happy to come for this function for one main reason, that I could meet him in person and also express my felicitations. COVID has denied us all those possibilities for a long time. Professor Menon has always been a vibrant young colleague and friend when we were together. But my closer bond with him has been through his illustrious wife, who has been my son's teacher and a very affectionate teacher too. So you can see that life never stops to bond, to bind and to bring us together with a certain purpose. Let us acknowledge the positive and the larger purpose for which Providence has brought us here. And really, let us strive so that we can help make Nishesha Jadya. I'm sure Ma Saraswati, the Vagvilasini, Sharada will bless us in this regard. I thank the institution and in particular Dr. Bhushan Bhave for having given me this opportunity to express my few words. Please do make use of the little gift I have made possible for you. Thank you very much. Thank you again.
Thank you for your views, ma'am. And I'm sure the books that you have donated, along with the books donated by others before you, will give a fillip to the cause of education and ignite the minds.
Might I add, ma'am said that some of the books are dilapidated. However, I think that's the sign that a book is well read. Only those books which are really loved and well read are the ones which may go through this process. The ones which look very shiny on the shelves are the ones that not really appeal to the heart. So I think the fact that you have given those well read books to us is quite a thoughtful gesture. Thank you for that. Moving on. The post of the cool guru of Goa University is a revered one, and the person that holds the post is not a mere mortal, but is the very fountainhead of knowledge and wisdom. We are honored that the Vice Chancellor of Goa University, our university, is amongst us today. I request him to address the gathering so we may partake a little of his knowledge and worldview.
Suprabhatam. Professor Bhushan Bhave, Principal, Vidya Prabodhini, ex-dean and my colleague, Professor Kiran Butkule, Sri Sanjay Valolikar, all other dignitaries on dais, and Professor Lele sir sitting in off dais, and all other my colleagues, friends, students, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, I consider this, in fact it gives me a great pleasure to be here, especially due to the fact that almost last 2 years I was totally disconnected with the face-to-face meeting of the students. And after assuming the office of the Vice Chancellor, this is the first time that I am addressing a gather, and for that I am thankful to Professor Bhushan Bhave. And moreover, I heard a lot about Vidya Prabodhini, but only after coming here I realized that this building encompasses all from LKG till the PG. This is what actually national education policy wants. But at the same time, we have to have many more programs. We have to have more, the NEP says that a teacher going to the classroom and then teaching. So there, the teaching learning process is teacher-centric, wherein 80% of the teaching is, or the 80% of the knowledge transmission is going through the teacher, whatever teacher learns, and that is being transmitted. But what the NEP wants is that it has to be learner-centric. In fact, if you see the last 2 years, it was a very tough time for both teachers as well as for the students. Initially, we even thought that how to transmit the knowledge to the students. But then we were successful in, taking classes online. And most of my colleagues, of course, initially, they used to say that these online classes, it's not actually doing the job what it's supposed to be. But then when I looked at the positive aspects of that, when you have a classroom teaching, that means when you have a teacher standing in the classroom and across the table he teaches, you will listen to him for 1 hour or 45 minutes or 1 hour, and that goes. If you have any doubt, then you will have to see the convenience of the teacher, you will have to wait for the teacher to, interact with you. But here, once you have the online class, that recorded version can be sent you instantly. That's what I used to do. Immediately after the class, I send my recorded class, the class, and then the student is at its pace. Whatever doubts he has, how many times he wants to have that, how many times he wants to learn that, he can always. So that's one of the positive aspects as far as the online class is concerned. And moreover, I also realized that the government of India under the, the Modi ji wants to have GER stands for Gross Enrollment Ratio, that to be 50%. If I tell you what is the percentage GER, gross enrollment ratio, to means access to higher education. If I say the female in Goa, I'm very proud to say that it's 34%. That is the highest among all the states in India, Goa. But as far as the male is concerned, it's only 22%. So the central government, under the able leadership of Modi ji, he says that it has to be 50%. For that, we can actually have the online, the mode. Through online mode, we can actually achieve the goal of taking GR to 50%. Now, as I said earlier, NEP clearly says that henceforth the teaching should be learner-centric. That means learning should be learner-centric. That means it should be space learning, it should be emotional learning, it should be application-oriented learning. Space learning means what? Like in the case of for the last 100 years, if you see that teacher comes to the class and teaches, that I said already. But here, in the case of a space learning means you will have to have group discussion, group tasks, the teacher is there to guide you, and in the process, you will be a multifaceted, personality, because the whole idea is that a student has to be worthy to the society. So that is the way in which you have to. So for that, one of the important components is space learning. And then comes emotional learning, because you have, in India, we are a poor country. So we have students from different walks of life, maybe from very rich, child of very rich parent, and then also from, if you go to a student, maybe he may have a hut there. So you have students from different walks of life, so that you must understand what is going on in the country and then how to contribute to the development of the country and how you can become a good individual as far as society is concerned. And the next is the application-oriented. If I give an example of the application-oriented, you see, I would always vouch for one fact that mathematics and physics have to be the integral component of higher secondary. Because the reason is that, you see, if you look at the mathematics, you have something called calculus. In that you have differentiation and integration. You tell me which field, let it be language, let it be arts, let it be humanities, let it be any field, without calculus you won't be able to do, because you have to have the differentiation, you have to have the integration. So without that you can't. So the concept, this is where the space learning will help you. Rather than a teacher comes to the class and teaching, the space learning will certainly help you, so that, nowadays what happens is that the students are afraid, or they have a fearful psychosis, so that they won't take maths and physics and they take something which is very convenient and go. That is not good. Because what you need is that the education is meant for the development of the country. In fact, we have to have many researchers in this country. Let me tell you, NEP has come out with something very novel. The undergraduate courses are going to be 4-year now. Means first 3 years you will have all the courses related to that, and the 4th year is your research. And research, when you say that, the first semester of the 4th semester is going to be all the courses related to the research, and the first 3 years, all the ingredients you have to have for the research. And again, there is a criteria there. If the first 3 years, if you are getting a GPA of around 7.5, you are eligible to go for 4th semester. Means 4th year, I mean to say, for research. Otherwise, from 3, you go for 3+2 formula. 3 years of graduation and 2 years of PG. But when you go for 4 years, you will have 4+1. That means 4 years you complete and 1 year of PG. And again, if you are really good in research, you can even skip that 4th year. Rather, you can directly go to PhD. Those who are really want to have a career in research, that is the right option. So that's the way in which this has been envisioned. I would say that this is one of the best recommendations that NEP has come out with. So I would request Professor Bhushan Bhave that we would, in fact, Goa University has already formulated a committee wherein how effectively we can implement this 4-year graduate course in all the colleges across the, the state that we have done. Plus we also have something like, now we have 3+2. So therefore the 2-year program also we are going to revamp in the campus as well as all the PG program. So that is going on. And then another very important or significant point as far as the NEP is that ABC. ABC stands for Academic Banking of Credits. This means that if a child who studies here in Vidya Pramodini, let's say after 1 year, he or let's say her father is getting transferred to somewhere in Delhi. Let's say he's working in a defense establishment and he's getting transferred to Delhi. You don't have to worry. Rather, your credits would be deposited in the bank, and this is there for across the country. So that whatever you earned in the first year, to that the second year would be added. Let's say you are joining in a college in Delhi and you don't have to again restart from the first year, rather you can go for the second year. And in the event of you want to redeem this first year and get a certificate, then also you can get that. Only thing is that that credit is gone, redeemed. So these are the kind of very novel, very visionary recommendations have been done. And let me tell you, in another 2 years' time also, we would see that all these things have been implemented here. And when I say the research, I have to mention another important point. You see, research is the backbone of the humanity. Okay? But for the research, the main important component is that the literature review. So let me tell you, when I took over as the Vice Chancellor, I realized that we do not have a proper journal as far as the Konkani language is concerned, because the languages actually see anything and everything you study, at least in the primitive stages, you have to learn in your mother tongue. So that is a must. So therefore, what we need to have is that we need to have a journal that should go to the UGC CARE list. UGC CARE stands for Consortium of Academic and Research Ethics. It's basically to see that the quality and the integrity has been imbibed when you publish a paper. Means your data is getting published. So only then it can come in the national level. So I've already taken some initiative for this. We have a journal called Sasai, but at the same time I request Professor Bhushan Bharve, because he's the Konkani scholar, to take this forward and see that in a year time also we'll get the number, ISSN number, and then further to UGC CARE list. And I think it's getting hot, so I want to speak some more, but then I find that it is getting hot, so I will not go further. Rather, I would only say, at the end I would say that both to the teachers and to the students, I would say that you always keep in your mind the Indian adage of Mada Pita Guru Devam. See, Mada is mother, she is the goddess. Whatever you are today is because of what she has done during that 9 months. Whatever she eats, whatever she prays, whatever she does, everything will reflect on you. In fact, I am myself is here because of my mother. And then you have Pita. Okay? Pita is the one who doesn't even care about his health. Rather, he works 24 hours to see that my child's fee is paid. So that's the kind of Pita we have in India. And I have many exemplary examples also. And then you have the Gurus. Try to understand the role of Guru. And the Guru's role is before Devam, before God. So this Pita, what he does is that he holds your hand and takes you to the Guru, and it is the Guru's job, with the blessing of the God, to draw a trajectory for your future. So that means in your life, these are the three most important personalities. One is Mada, she is the goddess, Mada, Pita, Guru. So therefore I would say that please don't do anything which hurts the feeling of any of these three members. So with these few words, I thank you for giving me this opportunity to address at least such a gathering. I said it's the first of its kind after I taking over as the Vice Chancellor. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. So I'm sure you know that our Vidya Prabodhini is uniquely positioned to take on the NEP, because we have courses right from the KG to the PG. And to have an integrated educational complex such as this is, I think, one of the visions of the NEP, so that the development of the child starts when he's in the KG and then goes on till the end of his academic career. And I'm also sure that the students have well received your message on the Mata, the Pita, and the Guru and their importance in our lives. Moving ahead.
Gratitude is the completion of thankfulness. Thankfulness may consist merely of words, but gratitude is shown in actions. As a token of our gratitude, I request the Chairman of Prabodhan Education Society to present mementos to Professor Menon and Professor Burkule.
Thank you, everyone. Recently, General Sunit Francis Rodrigues, PVSM VSM, that is Param Vishisht Seva Medal and Vishisht Seva Medal awardee of the Indian Army, an illustrious son of Goa who served the nation for over 41 years and then became the Chief of Army Staff from 1990 to 1993. And furthermore, who became the Governor of Punjab from 2004 to 2010, passed away on the 4th of March 2022. I request everyone to rise for a minute and pay their respects to him. Thank you, everyone. Please take your seats.
The program cannot come to an end without thanking all the hands that have gone in making this event a memorable one. To do this honor, I request Mr. Nitesh Naik, Librarian of Vidya Prabodhini College and coordinator of today's program, to propose the vote of thanks. This will then be followed with the national anthem and a dance drama performance by the students of BA, ably assisted by the faculty members of our college.
Good morning. We have now come to the conclusion of this event. On behalf of Vidya Prabodhini College, I thank the Vice Chancellor of Goa University, Professor Harilal Menon, for being gracious enough to accept our invitation to release Sarvottam. Thank you, sir. We also thank Dr. Kiran Budkule, former Dean Faculty of Languages, Goa University, for donating books to our college library. The principal of our college, Professor Bhave, provided us the encouragement and support during the various stages of planning this event. Thank you, sir. I thank the chairman, Shri Sanjay Valavalkar, and the respected members of the management committee for gracing the function. The members of the press were forthcoming in accepting our invitation. Thanks to all for covering this event. Thanks to all the members of the organizing committee for making necessary arrangement for this function. I thank all the teaching, non-teaching staff and students for attending this function. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, Nitesh sir. I request everyone to stand up for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंग विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंग तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे भारत माता की
Thank you. I request the dignitaries on the dais to take their places amongst the audience. We have a very riveting performance coming up.
The dance form encapsulates a wide form of human emotions. It is a poetic expression that tells stories to people, a subtle, interfusion of drama in an otherwise classical pattern. I call upon our students to perform a dance drama celebrating the 60 years of Goa's liberation. The performance has been conceived by Ms. Prerna Palekar, Assistant Professor of Performing Arts.
Jage Jaya. This dance drama is a theatrical presentation of Goa's liberation struggle movement. Concept is by Prerna Palekar. Direction and choreography is Prerna Palekar. Music direction Sarish Naikola. Costumes and production in charge Kalidas Mahmud. Dancers are Duga Pause, Antara Kirkar, Saili Govekar, Airiza Gulaso, Soloni Desai, Sia Aldonka, Soloni Amilka, Durga Govekar. Musicians Divyachari vocal, Pratiki Naik vocal, Sanjana Sadekar vocal, Saidat Varankar Shamir, Sonisha Durgawar Gumar, Sagar Gawar harmonium, Nitesh Gankar side rhythm.
Check.
Surashna Sawant, Mishti Beluske, Saish Tari, Satyam Shirodkar, Devesh Kotkar, Ranjita Gaudi, Sovina Sarvottam. Jage Jaya.
अस्मिता आहे. चार स्वातंत्र्याची म्हणती ही दर एका स्वातंत्र्याची आणि ती जगत क्रांतीची सुरुवात झाली.
एक पंडी भीतर बैठा ती सगळी एक पंडी भीतर बैठा ती सगळी माझी तू वाट सरका सरकी रे
गे माझ्याला तर कळते ना आई आई किती तरी बोलवा उठ उठ रे पुता उठ उखल पाय सगळ्यात कित्याक मागता भीक माय भेचे काळीच कुठून बंडाच्या आईचे पीक कोण केले काळे डोंगराईनी आयली मला डोंगराईनी केले कोण काळे साक्षीनाथ किल्लून पडली माती माझ्या दारा झालो गोबर घंट्यांची पडली माती मुद्यांचो फुटलो पहिलो काळ्याला म्हणली काळ्याला म्हणल्या मोरी पहिलो काळ्याला म्हणल्या मुद्यांचो फुटलो पहिलो काळ्याला म्हणल्या मुद्यांचो फुटलो पहिलो काळ्याला म्हणल्या
आम्ही या बुचे पूत आम्ही जर आमच्या आवयक वाचोवचे नात जाल्यार कोण वाचयतलो याद करात इतले तिणे सोचता आता तिचे सोचणे न करप
सांगात सांगात तू पुतानो उगी कित्याक आता उगी कित्याक आमची भूय आमची माय आमकां जाय आमकां जाय
आमची भूय आमची माय आमकां जाय आमकां जाय
अरे तुम्ही सांगले ते पटले आमकां आता फाटी सरप ना जय हिंद
जय हिंद कोयतो जय जयकार करात आता तुम्ही पुढे सरात पुढे सरात पुढे सरात गोयच्या पुता रगत सांडले भियप ना फाटी आता सरप ना नका
होय आमचे आमकां जाय आमकां जाय आमकां जाय
होय आमचे आमकां जाय आमकां जाय आमकां जाय जय हिंद जय हिंद जय हिंद
तुझे तुझे आईले राज बाप झाले मांडवीच्या सोबीत तिरात
ढोलती मार धावतो वारो खळखळटा दुधा झरो आज घरा घरा मुखार पणत्यांचे हस्ती हार
19 डिसेंबर 1961 हो दीस गोंय स्वातंत्र्याचो ह्या दिसा परकी राजवट सोंपली आणि गोंयकारांक आपली भूंय परत गावली जैत गावले स्वातंत्र्याचे जैत गावले आम्ही गोंयचे पूत भारत गोंयचे दूत आमची जाजाय आमचे दायज हीच आमची अस्मिताय आमची अस्मिताय हेच आमचे अस्तित्व गोंयचो लोक गोंयची परंपरा गोंयचो सण हे सगळे सांबाळून दवरपाचें कर्तव्य आमचेच
आयज गोंयची परिस्थिती ही
दिसता दुश्मनच आयले देशा बसक्या